Welcome everybody to the Skywalker the Wetz podcast. Today we have special guest Chase Perry up in the pod. Perry is a lifelong friend with mine. Grew up with him in Great Falls, Montana, playing baseball, and we eventually won a state championship in 2015, which is 10 years ago, which makes me feel old. But today Perry's a firefighter, he's a father, and he's running 50K ultra marathons in the backcountry with the wild animals and slopes and rugged terrain. And so I was like, hey, dude, I got to get this cat on so we can kind of dig in a little bit and see how he's doing, but also talk about being a firefighter and being in these marathons, because it's no easy task. So Chase, again, thank you for coming on, brother. Appreciate it.
Oh yeah, bro. Yeah, thank you for having me. Thanks for taking interest in some of that stuff that I'm doing. Just steady grinding, staying grinding.
Staying grinding, baby. Yeah, man. I mean, when you graduate like high school and things like that, time goes by pretty dang fast. Like I said, we won that state title in 2015, but like now, like we're both dads. We're both married.
I know.
One can grow
Crazy.
facial hair, the other guy can't.
Yeah.
So time flies, dude. Time flies.
Yeah, I missed the mullet. Actually, I'm bringing the mullet back now.
Can you
I
have a
had
mullet?
in baseball when we all had the mullets going, long hair, flowing.
Uh-huh.
I got the burst fade kind of.
Yep.
Need a fresh cut, but
Yep. Hey, it looks clean though, dude. It looks clean. Where you going? You going? I hope you're going to Classic Cuts. I hope.
absolutely.
Yes.
Shiloh, shout out Shiloh, shout out Dustin, Classic Cuts.
Yes.
They know how to cut hair.
Hey, Dustin liked the photo. He follows my podcast page on Instagram, and Pike Hunter, I think it's like Pike Hunter 44. Shiloh might too. I'm not sure, but
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. I used to be a great clips guy. Like my whole life, I used to be a great clips dude, and I think I forget who told me to go there, and then I went there, and I think I got like my first fade, and I was like,
Yeah.
hell yeah, dude, hell yeah.
That's pretty much how it worked for me. I was going to there was some place in like J.C. Penney or something in the mall.
Oh yeah.
Go there, like, I don't care, just cut everything all even because I had long shaggy hair. I didn't really care anyways. And then Kanan was going to Classic Cuts and brought me there. And then I was like nervous to get any sort of fade or any like short on the sides. I was like, I don't know. I don't even remember what my first haircut was. And they're like, next time I went, I was like, all right, give me a skin fade. Let's see how it looks.
Let's do it.
And then, they know how to do it.
The fade. The fade's a game changer, just because I was just like you. Like I always had like longer hair. I never faded the sides. It was just even, clean cut, crew cut maybe. I don't know what it's called. But then when I got my first fade, I was like, oh. But my problem is
that mirror keeps following you. You can't stop.
You're looking, you're like, that looks good. But my problem is when I started first getting fades, I'd get my fade too high. So my fade would go up to here, and I'd have the hair up here. And I was looking at like photos of college, and I told my wife, I was like, Sid, why did you tell, like, why didn't you ever say like, hey, that's a little too military for you, Jake?
Military style, yeah. How many people asked you if you're in the military?
Oh, I would get it. I would definitely get it a little bit for sure. Just because like it looked nice, like it looked great, but like it was just a little too high and tight, for me. Then I said, okay, we're gonna go mid drop fade, and so once I started the drop fade mid, it's been a game changer. And I had a mullet for a little bit.
Seen you rocking a few different hairstyles throughout the years, different pictures and stuff.
Oh, dude,
Sticking with the same haircut?
Shoot. Lately, yeah. I mean, I'll let it grow out a little bit. But yeah, man, I think I'm gonna try and stay consistent with this one because, dude, I've had long hair I've had a bowl cut. I had a bowl cut for like
I remember the bowl
a
cut.
long time, like I think my freshman year of college, and then kind of went normal. Then I started getting fades. The bowl cut's what introduced me to the fades. I think
Okay.
that's kind of what got me on the fades because at first I just got my hair trimmed in there, and then I was like, "Fuck it, Dustin, give me a bowl cut," and he was like, "No." And I was like, "Yes." And he was so happy. And he made it
I
look
know.
so good, dude. And
Yeah.
then in Missoula, just kind of same face stuff. Then one day I was like, "Fuck, dude, I want a mullet." And my barber Mel in Missoula. See, I've been lucky. I've found great barbers everywhere I've gone. He
Yeah.
loved the mullet. Like he was known. Like you go to Missoula, you see guys rocking around with a faded mullet. That's Mel. Like, but now it's like
He's the mullet guy.
he's the
Mullet
mullet
man.
guy, dude. He's a clean cut, dude. Now here I have Jesus, and he,
That just sounds like a barber.
dude, he's fucking legit. He's like 23, like he's 23. I don't know if he's even graduated high school, but he has his own like barber business and shit, dude. And he makes bags. He has like a Sprinter
Dang.
van he pimped out,
Yeah.
and like he rolls around Denver. Like if I booked with him and told him to come to my crib and cut my hair, it'd be like $75. But if I go to him, it's like 45. And
Oh, so
on the week, what's that?
he's doing like mobile cuts.
Mobile cuts, yes. And like he's
That's
booked
sick.
all the time. And so like he'll post on his stuff like around Denver, hit me up if you need me to come to you. And he's like booked. And I'm like, dude, he's bringing in money. But that Sprinter van, dude, like he kind of opened my mind up to like how you can pimp those out.
Oh, absolutely. I want one of those in the future if I'm gonna keep doing. Shit, my phone ain't charging, man.
No, you're good. You want to get a Sprinter van though,
I do at some point.
dude?
You can use them like for. I'm gonna do some like bigger style runs and stuff like that. Like they use those Sprinter vans to do all sorts of stuff, just meeting different stops and stuff. Like if people running across states and stuff, so they're using a
Yep.
Sprinter van. They run to that thing, they hop in it, go to either they stay in it or go to a hotel, or they got their trainer in there that tapes up their feet in that van, and then they get back on the road, keep running, stuff like that.
Dude,
Or
yeah.
just hunting out of that thing too. Pull up to anywhere, freaking stay in it.
Yep. Yep. Dude, he has like a 40-inch TV, 45-inch TV in there, like a whole area in the back where his stuff's in, and then like the chair, like speakers. We saw one when we were driving up from here to Big Timber. That's where my wife's from. We saw a fucking Sprinter van that was like a camper hybrid almost. It was insane. I was like, dude, you could do anything with these things. I was like, but yeah, Sprinter van game.
Someday.
I'm gonna have to invest one day. But
Yeah.
without further ado, man, let's dig into the meat and potatoes here. So we grew up in Great Falls, Montana. Living in a metropolitan area, just a metro area. Now, like I look back at Great Falls and I'm like, when you live in Montana, you're like Great Falls is pretty big, but it's pretty small. And the people you meet at a young age, like basically your friends for life, and you know what everyone's kind of doing for the most part. But Great Falls is also big enough to where you can also have your privacy at the same time. So like growing up in like Montana for you, what was that like? What did your like childhood look like? I know obviously you played a bunch of sports, you hunt and do things like that. So kind of break that down of like what was it like growing up as like a Montana kid, and how's that influenced you throughout your life?
I just growing up as a Montana kid, just taking it all in, loved it. I wouldn't be. I don't think I would have rather grow up anywhere else.
Yeah.
Growing up hunting, growing up on the boat, on the lake, growing up playing sports. Obviously sports is everywhere, but don't have the mountains everywhere. You don't got the lake. Being in Great Falls, growing up on the river, water skiing on the river, just being outside all the time. And I think that's what got me into loving sports, and then loving sports got me into staying busy, and staying busy now is just like when doing these ultra runs, going hunting, hanging out. Like I'm not the kind of guy that just chills out at home a lot. I'm
Yep.
always move doing something. So growing up in Montana probably has a big role in that, just because there's always something to do. You can drive 20 minutes and go do something outside,
100%.
shoot some stuff, or catch some fish, or build a fire, whatever.
Yeah, dude, I think you kind of hit it on the head. Like, sports are everywhere, but in like Montana, my grandpa used to tell me this all the time. He was like, you got to be doing something, otherwise you're doing something not good. Especially in Montana. Especially in like Great Falls. Like, Great Falls is a great town to live in, right? But it has its things about it to where you're like, you can kind of get in with the wrong crowd and do whatever. And I think athletics in Montana especially help a lot of kids kind of stay on the straight and narrow and stay busy. You know what I mean? And
Right.
for us, like, played football, played basketball, you wrestled and played basketball, then played baseball in our summers and springs. Like, all year round we were always doing something. And I'm a year older than you, right? But like those baseball seasons, man, especially in like the summer where we could just be sitting around doing nothing, like, it kept us busy.
Yeah.
Like, we'd have our practices obviously a couple times a week. But then we were traveling, the other half of the week, and
Yep.
just with the boys and doing that stuff. And when we were traveling and stuff, we would always, the wooded glen, would go find something in the wilderness between games and just do dumb things as kids. But to speak to that point though, is like, when you stay busy in athletics, especially a spot like Montana, it teaches you good, life skills, life lessons, and valuable things that you can hold on to for a long time. And
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
if anyone who's watching this keeps up with Chase's Instagram, like, he's always outdoors, he's always doing something, running, hiking, hunting, whatever it may be. What was your favorite, sport growing up? I guess was it the baseball? Was it the football? Was it the wrestling? I know you were a hooper too. We had a bomb threat at our high school one time.
I
And
remember this day.
we were stuck in the gym for like 4 hours, and Perry was on the court. We started running pickup games in front of the whole school, and Perry was on the court, and he was wrestling at this time because he didn't play basketball that year. And he just went, you were going off. You're going crazy.
Was balling. So actually, I don't know if you know the full story. I didn't make the sophomore team. That's what happened. I played basketball my entire life. I love basketball, especially like I was on the traveling team with Bruscotter, Burcham, all those guys, and played freshman ball. Loved it, obviously. And then sophomore year comes around. I'm what, 5'4", 100 pounds maybe my sophomore year. Like
yeah.
And then that was also the year. I don't know. That was also the year that like Howard and his gang were coming up into freshman year.
Oh, yep.
So a bunch of them made it onto the sophomore team, and a few sophomores got cut from the team, and that was like devastating. I remember like, crying about it, and just like how, like, I love basketball. I played basketball since I was 5.
Yeah.
And then I went in, trying to fight for a spot back or do whatever I can do to just because not only basketball, but like the relationships that I grew throughout my entire life playing with the same people. Oh, and then it kind of faded, and then I was like, well, I can't just not do anything. So I went and joined the wrestling team, and it was honestly the best thing to ever happen to me, I think.
Dude,
Obviously, I love Loved football. Football was probably my favorite sport. Wrestling, close second.
Yeah.
Baseball, I mean, I love basketball, obviously, but I think there's like, be your favorite, you have to be, like, if you're good at something, it's obviously going to be more fun for you.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I would say basketball and baseball, I wasn't as good at as I was football and wrestling. That probably plays a role in why those were my top sports. But yeah, dude, wrestling, I'm so happy that I joined wrestling. I wish I would have wrestled my whole life instead of balling, but honestly, just because I think I was better at it. It was me. It's like it's you versus the other guy. There's no one. It's obviously a team sport, but when you're out there on the mat, it's you versus that guy, and
Yep.
one of you's winning, one of you's losing, and you got nobody else to blame but yourself if you lose.
Mm-hmm.
Just like the life lessons that wrestling taught: hard work, the work ethic, just the discipline, the grind, all that, dude. And Coach Comack he's a G.
Dude. Yeah. 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 That's right. Now, now the cobwebs are coming out is because I remember now that I'm thinking about it, after you went off during that like lockdown,
Dude, I was
essentially.
looking for Coach Howard that whole time. Like, where you at? You want me on this team?
Yeah.
No?
Coach Comack, I was in his weight training that year, and he comes in like the next day and he goes, probably shouldn't have cut Perry, huh? Like I had something to do with it. I was like, no, we shouldn't have. He was going crazy. But that's like a cool moment though. But like to that, like, yeah, you wrestled and you were a state champion like as a team, right? And looking back at it, like that had to take some guts to be like, yeah, I'm not gonna sit around. I'm gonna join the wrestling team because like our wrestling team was really freaking good, dude. Like those dudes.
I joined in the middle of our three-peat, I guess. So
Yeah.
my freshman year, they won state. Then I joined my sophomore year. So obviously that room's full of a bunch of killers. Everybody in that room was a freaking good wrestler. And maybe that's why I picked up on it so quick, just because everyone was so good. And like Jaron Comack was my freaking wrestling friend. Like,
yeah, state champ.
yeah.
Yeah, dude. And that's what I'm saying. Like it just probably was just so intimidating to walk in there and be like, oh fuck. Like I don't know anything about anything in this sport. And wrestling's very physical, obviously. Like it's probably one of the toughest sports you could physically participate in, just because like it's so technical. Like to be good, you got to be really technical, you got to be strong, right? But you also got to have you have to have an amazing work ethic. And I think that's one thing I really admired about all of my wrestling friends, Dobson, Comack, Randy, Kessler, like all those kinds of guys, like just everybody, man. It was just like, man, like I can eat whatever I want and I can go to practice, right? I can, miss a shot or something and it's okay. But, in wrestling, if you're not locked in on your hydration and diet and you don't make weight, you're chalked. If, you make one bad move off your back, you're pinned and you lose the match, and that's points in the state tournament that don't go to your team, right? So
yeah. All relative though. Every sport has its difficulties and grinds. I mean, basketball ain't no joke either. Especially once you get playing in college ball. Especially once you get to that league, it's I'm guessing a lot more in depth and practices and weight training and.
Oh yeah.
Sure, you're on diets. I'm sure they're making you guys.
Oh yeah, I had my coach.
I guess
my senior year, we were in open gym and I had my shirt off or something, and Keller's like, "You gotta dial it in." I was like, "Oh shit, a little too much beer over the summer, coach. My bad."
Yeah.
No, basketball, yeah, it's no cupcake sport. People like to paint it as that, and there's some players who play like that, just kind of soft. But you got to be physical, right? Like you still got to be physical. Like Jackson Hashley, Jack, I think he's your age or maybe a year younger than you. He went and played football at Montana State for a year, but his knee was so bad he decided to play basketball, which is still not the best sport to play if you got a bad knee. But like, go and try and score a bucket around the rim with that big fucker sitting in the paint. Like it's gonna hurt. But to baseball, right? I think what made our baseball team so fun, the Outlaws 2025 champs, 2016 as well. I just wasn't on the team. What made that so fun was just, I think, just the squad we had, though. Baseball's still a really hard sport, like mentally. Yeah. Not as much physically. I mean, like your arm and sitting in the sun all day, like that stuff does suck. But like you're not using your physicality over another player at any point of the game. Maybe pitching and hitting, but we just had a good squad, dude. We had a great squad.
Yeah, we just had. I think the biggest thing, we had fun in it. Like, we never took it serious. Like, we never took it that serious. Obviously, we took it serious because we were winning and stuff. But for the most part, we were just having fun. And if we lost a tournament or if we lost a game, everyone's like, "Where are we going tonight, boys? We going over to Joey G's house, or are we going over to like, we didn't really like let anything affect us that much. And I think in sports, like the mind can really affect how you grow as a team. And if you're always pissed off at each other, always down on each other, or upset about something, then the morale isn't good. So I think I think our morale was there.
We probably had the best morale, and I think you could say anything to anybody at any time, whether it's constructive criticism or you're just chewing someone out for doing something stupid. Like, it was all good, right? Like, we would go to a tournament and play teams that were way better than us, and we were like the Bad News Bears almost. We would make fun of the other team. Like, we would say things to them. Like, they were beating us, but we're going to beat you kind of like mentally in like a very unserious and like immature way almost. So I remember just talking shit to some guys, some kids back in the day. Like, they're beating us, whatever. Like, we're playing some team from Canada that are like...
those Calgary teams.
They have these academies in Canada, and it's like, okay, like, we're a good baseball team, but like, on like a fundamental level, like they were just so much better than we were. But saying some shit to those kinds of guys and, having fun and just doing stupid little things. Like, I remember one of our teammates, I'm not going to name names, like, we were playing a baseball game and he went and smoked by the river before our game. And then next thing you know, he threw a perfect game, a no-hitter. Like, it was just like, what the heck? And like, keep in mind, we played Babe Ruth. So in Montana, there's Legion baseball and Babe Ruth. And a lot of us could have went and played Legion and been contributing players on Legion, because it's more sanctioned and it has a lot more to it than what we had. But baseball was nobody's first sport except for maybe Christian and Kobe. Everyone's first sport was football, basketball, or wrestling or something like that. It was something we love baseball enough to where it's like we're not gonna play, but the schedule of Legion was just too absurd. I couldn't put the work I needed into basketball or baseball because you would have to go to a football camp and Legion's kind of like, we'd rather you not, or I'd have to go to multiple basketball camps, and they're like, so it's like Babe Ruth was great.
And like the funding, that Legion ball is so much more expensive too, which obviously they get nicer field, nicer gear, bus and trips and all that stuff. But like, I think going back to like growing up in Montana and playing sports in Montana, that was, like you just said, baseball wasn't any of our, like, we loved playing baseball, but it was none of our like highest priority thing. We're like, okay, we can still go. We got other sports to play. We can go camping. Like those guys in Calgary that we were playing, that's all they did was play baseball ever. Like since they were 5.
Yeah.
That was their life.
Yeah.
So it's cool that way. I was playing tennis when we were
Yeah,
playing
yeah.
baseball.
You were playing tennis, dude.
Seth and I were doubles partners in tennis. We had to skip a couple baseball games to go play some tennis.
Yeah, dude, exactly. And that was the dope part about it. And our coach he was a cable man. He was our boy Seth's dad, and he was the dope. He was the perfect coach for us. Like he
Yeah,
gave us enough to where we were on top of like what we needed to do to win, but he was also flexible enough to where he wasn't like controlling in any way. He'd look at
right.
you and like on a back to back, you're the starting second baseman as always, right? But he could look at you and be like, "You want to take this one off?" And you're like, "Sure." You can go in the dugout, take your shoes off, walk around, hang out,
Yeah,
or do whatever. But then if we needed to, he knew how to kind of engage some of us the way we needed to in order to kind of like lock in. So, but one thing I think that team taught me, and I'm interested if like anything you took from it, was one thing the team kind of taught me was just like that one year, our first year, we were all right. Our second year, we found our way in the state championship and devastatingly lost, like in a devastating fashion. And the tournament,
mm,
like arguably, like you, we weren't supposed to win. That Bonner team was really good, and then like the other team in Great Falls, the Hawks were good, but like we weren't technically supposed to be there, but we very well had the right to be there because we're still good. Um, but then that last year, we just did what we needed to do. And what I learned from that was like just having fun and like going into that last year, we could have had all the pressure in the world to like, oh, we got to get it this year. And it was no pressure of like, we got to win it this year. It was, we're going to win it this year. You
yeah,
know what I mean?
right.
And when you like just have fun and you have a good camaraderie with your unit, you know, I think that's when like you become a good team. And I even saw that in college, too,
Yeah,
like playing college basketball. Like that stuff is more important than people really understand.
absolutely, for sure.
Yeah, 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 yeah. And so, we go through all that. We play our baseball and we kind of go our separate ways. I graduated, y'all finished that year. Y'all won it again pretty easily. Um,
Mm.
but then you go to college. So what was your kind of college route coming out of high school? What was your plan? What were you kind of thinking you wanted to do with your life?
Out of high school, I kind of always knew that I wanted to be on the fire department here in Great Falls.
Hmm.
Just kind of something that I kind of always knew that I wanted to do. But I, my great grandma had set aside money for my cousins and I to go to college,
Uh-huh.
and so I was like, well, can't, because otherwise, if I were to pay for college, I probably wouldn't have gone and do it, because then I'd be stuck with student loans and all that stuff, knowing that I wouldn't use that degree or anything.
Yeah.
But I was like, I basically have a free ride to college, so I might as well go get out of Great Falls for a few years, go experience life on my own for a little bit, and enjoy the experience and have fun, and maybe try to learn something, I guess.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
So I went to orientation, had no idea like what uh, degree I was going to want to do or what I wanted to study or anything. So I picked something that I was interested in, one, and two, that might help me in the future in the fire department. I got picked kinesiology is what I ended up the route I
Okay.
ended up on, which is like exercise science,
Yep.
health and human performance stuff. So did that 4 years, graduated in 2020, and then moved back to Great Falls, applied for the fire department, and got on first year that I applied. So, and then I've just been at the fire department since May of 2021.
So
So
technically you could be like a private trainer or a personal trainer for somebody. Like you'd have to obviously
uh,
get licensed and stuff like that, go through the whole shindig.
yep.
Damn, that's sick. I didn't know
You,
that's what you got your degree in.
yeah. So I think a lot of people. I mean, you could be anyone can be a personal trainer. That's like an online online course that you need to take, and then you have to pass a test, and you can get your license.
Oh, okay.
But oh, but obviously having the college degree with that makes you more applicable to somebody, you know.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
And uh, but a lot of people go to like physical therapy school after a kinesiology degree. So I had my bachelor's in kinesiology, could have applied for PT school in Arizona or wherever. Missoula
Mhm.
has one. But I knew that there's no way I'm going to school 4 more years. So
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
I decided to not go the physical therapist route. But yeah, I've kind of been interested in doing some coaching or personal training or stuff like that. But that's just a matter of getting my license, taking a test.
Yep. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, that's cool, man. I think and so the last dude I had on, Jaden Stanley. You remember Jaden Stanley from Great Falls? Yeah, 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 yeah,
Yes.
yeah. He got his degree. No, he got his degree in business actually, but we were talking about like how kinesiology and just having a background and knowledge and that kind of stuff like is so important in my opinion because people like old dudes will have their back pain or like young dudes have their back pain or they have the knee pain and they how do I stay fit, how do I stay healthy and things like that. Like that's to have that as like a degree or like be around it, you know, in high school when we were, you know, getting ice and stuff from the trainers and picking their brains, or you know, for me in college I was in the trainer's room getting things taken care of, knowing which stretch can do what, or you know, when I
Mm,
want to rehab, you know, I had 2 surgeries, you know, my shoulder and my hip, you know, and going through physical therapy and knowing which things can target certain areas to help my hip or my shoulder. Like it's
right.
so like just think of all the people out there in the world that like have these pains or like their shoulders hurting, but if they were to do this stretch or go to the gym and start being active and doing these certain workouts, their shoulder would feel better. Or like you think of heart diseases
Right.
and things like that. Like people just don't know how to stay active or stay fit. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah,
Um,
absolutely. I
which
think yeah, I think like the side that you're kind of talking about is like recovery after an injury.
yep.
A big thing that I liked or do like is like injury prevention. So don't even get to that point of injury.
Yep.
Let's work on how you can prevent yourself from being injured so that you don't have to decline and take time off and recover from something that from some injury, you know. So in the fire department, I'm kind of using that right now. We have committees in the fire department, and I'm on the peer fitness. I'm a peer fitness trainer at
Uh-huh.
our fire department. So basically, meaning just I do the fitness assessments. But if guys have like questions or they're starting to get like some shoulder pain or back pain or hip pain or something, then I can kind of walk them through how like some band stretches or some light exercises that you can do to prevent that from getting worse. Because the last thing you want to see is someone work a 20 to 30-year career at the fire department and then they retire and now they can't even walk
Right.
because they didn't take care of the injury that could have been prevented.
Yep.
Because the firefighting is a super labor intensive job as well. You know,
Oh,
fitness.
100%, dude.
So
100%. Yeah.
so
And my physical therapist, so the way it worked was I got referred to her before my surgery, essentially. Or before we like considered surgery. They're like, okay, so you do have a tear in your labrum in your shoulder, or you have a tear in the labrum in your hip. We're gonna refer you to, you know, give you this letter. You can go around look for a physical therapist to do prehab. So it's like maybe we can avoid surgery if like the prehab works and your symptoms go away. Because like you could have a tear, you know, somewhere, but depending on where it is and how it's affecting you, if you just, you know, work it out, stretch it out, and know how to take care of it, you might be able to avoid surgery. Because surgery is like almost like last case scenario. Because no matter what, that area is never gonna be necessarily the same. Like a dude tears his ACL, they start working like afterwards, like they're going to work on everything around that ACL to make sure it doesn't go again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like you said, it would stink. And I think like the older generations might have like the shorter end of the stick on this of like, yeah, like you see maybe old firefighters who just have a torn up back or torn up knees, or you know, for me, like the older athletes might just have terrible backs and all these kind of things afterwards. And you know, like my body for the most part feels pretty dang good after I've played, you know, all the way through high school, all the way through college. Like I don't wake up every morning and like, oh, my back hurts. Like there's days sometimes where like you may tweak something, you know, running around or doing whatever it is, but it's never a big issue.
Yeah. I think that older generation too is like stubborn though too, with like,
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna stretch. I'm not gonna freaking walk. I'm not gonna do all this bullshit. Like if I want to lift some weights, I'll lift some weights. And especially the guys that aren't like much into fitness, it's like trying to get someone who isn't into fitness to be interested in fitness is difficult.
Yeah.
Especially an older generation, because they're stuck on their ways. They're like, I've been living like this for 30 years and I'm 50 now. Like, what do you want me to change now? So that's kind of a barrier to get over, I think, for any trainers or coaches or anything like that.
Oh yeah. Oh
But
yeah. Go ahead.
I had a kind of a hypocrite because talking about preventing injuries, but I herniated 2 discs in my back back in January.
Jeez.
I had freaking, what was it, L3, L4, L5 or something like that, or a little bit higher than the normal disc herniations.
Yeah. How'd that happen?
I was, you know, those skier machines, the
Yep.
standing ski machines.
Mm-hmm.
I was just doing that, and I've done that thousands of times. It's not weight bearing. There's no, I mean, there's not even really any like weird twisting movements or anything. It's pretty minimal,
straight, you know.
Minimal on your body. And I was at work actually doing it, and I felt something. I was like, oh shit. Stood up, went straight to like trying to stretch it out, which I don't know if that was the best thing to do.
Uh-huh.
Because then I'm just activating those muscles even more and kind of irritating them even more after they just got shocked, you know. And I was at work and I was like, I'll be all right. I can tough it out, you know, for the day. We work 24-hour shifts, and this was at like 7 or probably 8:39 in the morning. And I was like, oh, I can make it till tomorrow.
Yeah.
And go home and this out. 2 hours go by and I'm standing at like 90 degrees. I can't even stand up straight. I was like, shit, boys, I gotta go home. I can't freaking. So I actually went to the doctor, ended up getting some steroids and some painkillers and stuff, and then got an MRI and just figured out that I had 2 herniated discs.
Oh my God.
It's terrible, dude.
Dude, that stuff freaks me out. And so like for me, for example, like I stopped going. After I was done playing college ball, right? Like I was still going to the gym. I'm not saying I was going every single day, but I'm at least going 3, 4, you know, a lot of the time 5, 6 days a week for, you know, a couple of years. And then I just kind of stopped. We moved into my house. Wife got pregnant. I started coaching. And so, like, I didn't have a whole lot of time unless I'd wake up early and, you know, I'd set the alarm. That's where I'm just kind of a piece. But anyways, I need to get better in that area of my life.
Hard.
But when I go back, it's like I'm not going heavy at all, bro. I'm just kind of staying a little light. Like, I'm still pushing myself, right? A lot of reps, things like that. But I'm like, for exactly what you're talking about, like, I know I could probably put a plate in a 25. I could put 185 on that bar and, you know, try and ego lift my way up. But it's like, nah, dude, I'm gonna start with the 25, and I'm a 35, and then I'll finish with multiple reps of, you know, 135. Because at the end of the day, like, I'm not trying to get big and jacked, right? I just want my muscles to still be in shape and be sustainable and all those kinds of things. and like the herniated disc stuff, like the back problems, man, it freaks me out. Like I have a foam roller and I have a band, and after I golf, you know lately when I golf, I make sure to hit that pretty dang hard and stretch, because there was a time where like my back would just kind of be so tight, and I was like, dude, I need to stretch before and after, because
Yeah.
like if you just let that stuff ride, that's when you start getting in trouble. Start getting in
Right.
trouble, bro. And I
Starts
was,
to get
yeah,
stuff starts to get tight, and then you keep doing that same movement, especially with golf. It's a repetitive movement game. So if you're consistently doing that same movement and not activating other muscles around that, your back or your hips or whatever muscles that you're using in a swing, I just go and cut at the ball, dude. I
right.
don't.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like when I'm out there, bro, I'm trying to hit the piss out of the ball. Like I'm not just,
Yeah.
Sometimes, like, all right, I gotta hit it soft or whatever, but I'm ripping the driver, I'm ripping the 5-wood, I'm ripping my long irons.
How's that golf game been looking?
Hey, hey, I'm a different beast than I was in high school. I'll tell you that, dude. We used to go a lot. I remember we used to go a lot. I tried to get you to get a golf pass one year, I think. Yeah. But bro, it's my favorite thing. I sit here and I think about getting on. I live right next to a course. I could walk there in 2 minutes. And
That's awesome.
yeah, dude, it's nice. When COVID hit, I just moved to Missoula, and I'm like, dude, I'm gonna start golfing again. It was the first year after basketball, right? And then so I bought a season pass for like $450 for, like, if you're under 27, you get a season pass for $450, and I'm like, hell yeah! I'm getting a stimmy. I'm getting a stim check in a week. I'm gonna put that to a golf pass. I ain't going to Essential Foods.
Yeah, give me 3 passes.
Yeah, dude, give me 3 of them. And so, yeah, dude, I golfed when I lived in Missoula for 3 summers. Every summer, dude, I probably went out every day, at least 4 times a week. I would go out there unless I had something going on or my job conflicted with it. And then when I moved out here to Colorado, it's nice all year around. I can go golf in January, February. Like, it still snows and stuff, but it's pretty sunny and the snow melts pretty quick. And I kind of just became like, I golf for fun for sure, but my mentality is, why would I spend so much time at something if I'm not trying to be better at it? So I've put a lot of time in. I put a lot of time in.
That's cool. Wish I could do the same, honestly. I mean, probably could do the same, but it's just another thing, another hobby. I try to get out a little bit. Dude, I wish I would have. I mean, I would have regretted not playing all the other sports and stuff in high school, but playing golf in high school would have been.
It was
sweet.
sick. It was sick. I did it my junior and senior year, and I was on the JV team because I just had the nastiest slice. Like, I could hit it so far, but like, I couldn't keep it on a fairway, and I just didn't know enough about golf. But it was so sick. Like, after school every day, you get to go and play 9 holes, and then on the JV you were guaranteed like 3 tournaments. Especially like the guys who were kind of higher up on JV, and I was like kind of middle of the pack of JV. Like, they would have maybe like the bottom 1 or 2 varsity players who are rotating with each other, like take some JV tournaments. But it was sick. Like, we went to Browning, we went to Havre, we got to do the Great Falls one. It was cool. But like, I've thought about this lately, is like, playing football wouldn't have been bad either. It was just like, for me, I was just a little over it for a little bit there. We would lose by 50 every game. You guys, your class was a little different than mine, but
we were still. I don't know why. From when I was a freshman, that senior squad that was playing, they should have. I don't know why none of our teams could ever put anything together that well, but like, I remember when I was a freshman and that senior squad, like,
Timmer and those boys, dude.
And like, I was like, these guys are they're all huge.
Yeah.
And then and then just as the years went, I don't know if it was, I don't know what it was. I don't know why we could never put anything together, but
I
I
know,
think
dude.
after the year I left, the next couple squads came up and they started doing quite a bit better. But
Yeah. Yeah. It was
new
tough.
coaching, new
Yeah.
that stuff. But
New cultural, changes in direction, that stuff's always needed. I liked the coaches. Like I loved, when I played, I was quarterback. I was B team quarterback, but then they were trying to kind of get me to be the quarterback and compete with Wilkins.
yeah,
It's just I didn't put enough time in to be a quarterback, I guess. Like I remember I went to the two-a-days my sophomore year, and they're like, throw a post route. I had no clue what a post was, bro. I was like, they're like, you're throwing the post route, and there's 4 quarterbacks and 4 receivers, and I'm just picking a guy and randomly throwing it, and I'm getting my ass chewed out. And like as a kid, I just didn't have like the thought of like, maybe I should have the humility to go to him and be like, hey, what is a post route? But instead, I
right.
just like got all freaked out. But I loved like,
we used to we used to go into the park and drawing on a football. Like, all right, you're gonna go this. You're gonna go
right,
this way.
right,
All
and
time QB.
and I was like, I could throw the ball. Like the thing is like freshman year on B team, I could like I was just airing it out, but I knew where the receivers were going. I didn't know what the routes were called, but I knew what people were doing, if that makes sense. Like, oh,
Yeah,
we're going line white, 81 special. Okay, I'm gonna look for this guy coming across. If that's not there, I know I have a guy going. Um,
right.
but
Quarterback's a tough
to be
position.
around dudes like Schulte and Naparella, Dirk,
Oh,
and
yeah, they
some of
were
those
all.
guys, like it. That's the thing I think I really regret of missing out on, just because they're just dope guys,
Yeah,
and they're dogs, and
yep.
like that. Those so the seniors when you were a freshman, they were huge, they were massive. It was just like, dang, how could we put it together? But around the state, like the state was also really good at that time.
Yeah,
It's
for
not
sure.
as Brendan and I have talked about this. I still talk to Brendan Howard, and he was
Oh,
just
yeah,
saying how things are a little watered down compared to when we were coming through. And I'm not around as much, but like it's hard to think like that much talent can sustain, because you had Grindy on the other side of the river. You had the Deming twins out at West, and you had just these
yeah.
guys all over the state that were going D1 in football or basketball, and it's like,
Carl
damn.
Tucker playing over there.
Right, yeah, Carl Tucker over there at CMR too. Like, like those dudes were stacked. Jake Olson, he was probably a sophomore around that time. He went and played for the Grizz and ended up going to UP. Um, but
Yeah,
anyways,
it was
yeah.
a.
Go ahead.
I was just agreeing. It was a maybe a different level, maybe not. I mean, we love saying that. I always love saying that. Like, dude, every team around the state got worse after we left.
No, but like to be honest, like from a basketball standpoint, like my class was juiced, dude. Like just think of the Great Falls High team, for example. Wyman went to Carroll. Lucas went to Tech and ended up going and finishing at Rocky. I went to UGF. Brendan went D1 and then went to D2, went back D1, went to NAI. And then you look at like Tinkle and Hellgate. They sent 4 kids to go play basketball at college. And Kendall Manuel went to Oregon State and then University of Montana. Jared Sam, like it was just like all these kids everywhere. It was a gauntlet. Whereas, the years prior, it's not quite like that. Like you got kids going, but
Yeah,
it's not like we were had
right.
like 4 or 5 D1 kids just at the AA level.
Yeah,
Um,
which is crazy.
which is crazy. And then like you have Carl Tucker and Andrew Grindy on the other side, and the kids that were a year older than me over there at CMR, like Jace McClain and the Fennings, like holy
Mm,
shit, dude, just a gauntlet.
yeah,
And people
yeah,
got to put some respect on like Montana athletes for sure, and I think it's definitely getting a lot better.
yep.
Because out here in Colorado, like there's just so many more kids, so like the competition is better. But like if you took Montana's top kids or even some of the middle of the pack dudes, like they could come out here and be just fine. Would they necessarily be like a superstar? No, but they would still get good looks and be able to compete with that.
I just heard. something crazy, and I don't want to spread misinformation, but I think it was like Kalispell or some team up there, Whitefish, some double A team up there. Who are Glacier? Maybe
Glacier. Yeah,
Glacier.
yeah, yeah.
One of those teams up there was like recruiting kids from like California to come to
Oh
school, and
yeah. Oh yeah.
it's like that's nuts. I
Oh
think there
yeah,
was like
100%.
it's like trouble for it.
Yeah, they were. I was talking with somebody, and for wrestling, for example, like I think it was Glacier or somebody like that. They were like having kids from Canada or California come and stay up here to compete because they couldn't in their home state. And when I was in Missoula, there was some kids from Washington because they weren't having a season. We were. They came to Montana and like stayed at the KOAs or rented a house or an apartment just so they could play football and
Damn.
situations like that. And yeah, it's crazy because that's kind of stuff is probably happening more in Montana now, but out here it like
It's probably everywhere.
dudes be recruiting in high school, man. Like it's crazy. Like there's this school out here called Valor, and you can't necessarily call it recruiting because they're a private school. That's where Christian McCaffrey went to high school, for
Oh,
example. Dude, like their campus is like Carroll College. It's like a Carroll College campus, but it's a high school campus. Great
yeah.
campus, you know.
They like what are they like 4A out there?
Six
Where
A, 6A for basketball. So basketball goes up to 6A, and 5A in football because I think football just stays at 5A. But for them, they could be like, "Hey, we'll give you we'll give you a scholarship, if you want to come here, even though you don't live in our area." Whereas like my high school, you have to live in like the jurisdiction of that high school to go there, and
it's like
if you don't, but you want to come here, you have to apply, and then we'll put you on a list for enrollment. But there's never a guarantee you could be enrolled. So
yeah,
it's
it's crazy.
it's interesting, but to bring it all together is like, yeah, you don't like through all those athletics and things like that. It's really important to like maintain your body, and but the reason why we can't talk about it is we're talking about golf a little bit and just like the
Mhm.
back and stuff. But like now, like you're a firefighter, you're running these marathons, right? Like this is really you do that like stair climb in Seattle or Washington or something like that, and like that's I want to hear a little bit about that. But um, what is it? How important is it for you? Obviously, you kind of touched on it already to maintain your body and maintain, you know, your physical strength and how in shape you are to, for one, be a firefighter. You got to be ready to
Yeah,
do anything. And for two,
yeah,
to run, what is it, 31, 32 miles in these marathons.
yeah. Just under 32. Those 50Ks are just under 32 miles. I don't know. I've just like I said, I think growing up playing sports, I've always been into physical fitness or exercise, and just I just love staying in shape, getting a workout. You feel freaking way better every day. I mean, compared to not getting a workout. If you work out every day or 5 days a week, you're gonna feel better than not working out at all. So that's a
Yep.
big part of it. Just mental clarity and feeling good.
Hmm.
Uh, yeah, just staying in shape, always ready, basically. And then yeah, especially with working at the fire department, I want to be a guy that people can look at me and count on me to save somebody. If one of our guys goes down, then I want to be a guy that people are like, trust me that I can
Yep.
make something. You know, and I think everybody on in a fire service should think themselves that way. Just staying in shape, staying ready in case something terrible like that happens, and
Yep.
and you need to be there for your boys. Um, yeah, just staying in shape. I think, and honestly, over the last probably since college. So I roof and do siding and stuff in the summer
Yep.
as well on the side.
Always
So
grinding.
Yeah, I'm always in this like loop of summertime. We're busy as shit, roofing, siding. But then we're having fun, going on the boat, drinking some beers, having fun, like enjoying the summer in Montana. Like
Yep.
you should. And then wintertime rolls around. Definitely slower season. We're not roofing. I'm just working at the fire department. And that's when I get like super into fitness again. And then I'm training for the stair climb. That's in like March time. So I've always got that to train for. Um, but then when summer rolls around again, I get freaking busy again, roofing and having fun doing side. So I kind of doing this loop of like falling off in the summer a little bit.
Hmm.
Obviously, I'm staying fit. That's a
Right.
physical, but I'm not like in the gym lifting and running or doing the stuff that I, in the back of my mind, know I want to be doing and should be doing,
Yeah.
but I'm just damn tired to go do it. So, um, this year was, I think I kind of after having our son Brew, I kind of just had like a click moment and was like, I need to be more consistent. I need to be more disciplined because that's kind of the qualities that I want him to grow up seeing and learning from.
Yep.
So like I'm gonna continue roofing, I'm gonna continue firefighting, I'm gonna continue being a dad, but I'm not gonna make excuses anymore to not get 30 minutes to an hour of exercise every day. So that's when I started like that's when I really started running. I was like, this is perfect. I have that Bob stroller. I can Brew in the stroller and I can go for a run with him and he loves it. He falls asleep every single time we do
Yep.
it.
Yep.
So it's
Yep.
perfect. So that kind of like finding a way to exercise but still hanging out with my kid and doing it, you just got to find the time, I guess. Like you were saying, getting up early in the mornings, that's not my deal. Like I can't get up at 4 or 5 in the morning and go work out. It doesn't I've tried it, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm tired. I feel like I get a terrible workout. So it's more so later in the evenings, like 8, 9 o'clock sometimes.
Yep.
We'll do a roof or whatever. We'll get done. I'll go take a nap for a minute, get some food, and go hit the trail, go run for a little bit. So then that's when I was like decided to start doing those ultra runs. Yeah,
Yeah, dude. That's yeah.
kind of had like a kind of had a change of mindset after the last probably 5 or 6 years of this continuous like getting super into fitness and then kind of falling off and not hitting the gym as much as I should be, then getting to a slow season and getting super into fitness again. And it's like I want to stay consistent. If
Yep.
I keep doing these things, then I want to stay consistent. And if I want to prevent injury and all that stuff that I was talking about, I want to maintain fitness levels. So
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, dude. I think you hit it on the head, man. Is like, well, for one, like how awesome of an opportunity is it to like have your baby boy, and to have a moment to have that kind of thought of like, well, shoot, man, like I want my kid to have these kind of principles and values and type of work ethic, but
mm,
if I don't display that on a day-to-day basis, you know,
right.
what am I doing? So
Yeah.
I think, yeah, I've definitely had those kinds of thoughts of like, okay, I need to be better in some aspects of my life. You know what I mean? To make sure that my kid, because we're the most important influences in their life. Like as
Yeah.
time goes on, other things will come into play. But to start out, like parents give the kid the foundation, right? And then it's
Yeah.
what they do with it. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, working out in the mornings, dude. Holy smokes! Like that's what I did probably the first year I lived here in Denver um, before school because I work in a school, and so I would go at Christian when he would wake up would come with me, and we would go to the
Yeah.
gym, and I'd get a good workout in, and um, but yeah, it stinks because sometimes you're like, man, I'm tired, and this, that, and the other. And for me personally, like coffee doesn't work. Like I'll drink
Yeah.
coffee, um, but sometimes I feel like coffee really just doesn't do anything for me.
Right.
But it's because like I work, so I gotta be at work at 7:50. I roll in probably 7:55, 8, because it is what it is. Um, but then I get off at 3:30, can't get home to really like 4:15, depending on how late I have to stay behind, and then I got to go coach at from 6 to 8, and so it's like I can't fit gym in. Um,
Right.
but I have always thought like maybe I do go after practice at night because there's something nice about. I used to do this in Great Falls. We would go to the peak and we would work out, we would swim, we would sauna, shoot hoops or whatever. But
Mhm.
then you go home and you just crash out.
Sure. Yeah.
It was nice, but sometimes I'm like, I don't know. And so I'm like conflicted because it's like I obviously can't do it middle of the day. So it's either
Yeah.
at night or in the morning for me. And for me, for some reason, I'm always like, I just got to try it in the morning. But then you're fighting that demon of like, okay, I got to wake up for my alarm though, you know,
Yeah.
and,
I
and,
know
and
that
that,
alarm.
and that sucks.
Yeah. I think, dude, a big thing actually, because I training for my first 50K was like I hadn't really worked out that much like all summer.
Uh huh.
Then I said, screw it. I'm gonna sign up for this thing on the calendar, and that's and then I think that's what drove me to like not be. I was still tired, still,
Yeah.
but I was able to make time for it, I guess, or not do my normal like we come home and this couch feels good. I'm gonna just chill out tonight. Maybe I'll hit it in the morning.
Yeah.
Think I'm a big believer of like find something hard that's your hard, like relative to what you think that might be difficult
Yeah.
or or more difficult than like your normal whatever. Sign up for a race. Sign up for a 3 mile race. Sign up for a 5K. Um, get something on. Once you have something on the calendar, you stay way more motivated to work out or exercise and way more disciplined because you don't want to. And especially when when you start telling people like you could always sign up for something, but like kind of keep it
Yep.
on the down low. Don't tell anybody, but then you're just kind of screwing yourself. If you put something on the calendar, tell your friends, tell your family, I'm doing this in 3 months. This is what I'm doing. You don't want to let anybody down. You don't want to let yourself down. So it really does help. That's what helped me. Like I was fine. I signed up for that thing. It was 5 weeks away, and I was like, oh
Holy
shit.
smokes. Holy
I was like,
smokes.
I gotta do this now.
Dude, it was cool. It was cool. And so like I like that thought though. I really do. I was just in California and my in-laws ran like the Disney half marathon or whatever it is. It was maybe like 13 miles or something like that. Um
Yeah.
but I was like that would be cool because there is that part of self-accountability. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like, hey, I signed up for something, and if you're a competitor or a former athlete or whatever it is, it's like you have that thing of about you to where you're just like, okay, I got to dial in because I don't want to look like a piece. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I want to go and I actually want to perform and do my best. And so I think that that little that little tidbit you just gave us is great. I think a lot of
Yeah.
people need to kind of take that. And you said it's like you're kind of hard, right? For some
Yeah.
people, it might be, hey, I'm gonna go run the 1 mile run, or hey, I'm gonna go into this 30-day challenge and try and stay consistent for 30 days, or whatever
Mhm.
it may be. Because if you're doing something just to do it, like that's when it's kind of like, I'm just gonna lay here, couch feels good, there's really
Yeah.
nothing holding me accountable to it. But if you're
Yeah.
doing something for a purpose, right? Like the purpose of something is what really makes things important. If you're losing weight, you're trying to get in a better shape, you're trying to hit the golf ball farther, you're trying to make more jump shots in a basketball game, right? Okay, now there's a
Mhm.
purpose to the work that you're doing. But if you're like, oh, I'm just golfing the golf, or I'm just, you know,
Yeah.
doing this to
Just
do that.
working out to stay fit. It's like, okay, but if you're just working out to stay fit, you can find excuses a lot easier that way because you're
Yep.
like, oh, if I miss 2 days this week, it's not gonna hinder me that much,
Yep.
you know. But when you got something signed up for and you got a goal to reach or a competition that you want to compete in, or even just finish, you don't have to, compete in whatever you're doing. You could go and finish, but you have that. It's harder to find the excuse because you're like, well, shit, if I miss 2 days this week, then I'm down. Like I miss 8 mile day and I miss a 5 mile day, and now I'm down 14 miles. Now I got to make that up somehow,
Mm-hmm.
So then you start like, okay, I don't want to miss it because then I feel like I got to make that up, and I don't want to have to make that up because then that's a 15-mile day instead of a five or
Yep.
whatever,
Yeah, yeah,
10
yeah.
and a 5.
Yeah. And I
But
tell
yeah,
my
I
ki-
think
Go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
oh, I was just yep. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I tell my kids that all the time, even in practice, right? Let's say you're running a suicide or you're running, double lines or whatever it may be. Um, I always get on kids when they don't touch the line, and kind of in the perspective that you just said it is, look, dude, if we're in a drill and we're doing something, we got to have a purpose for it. If we're running, there's still a purpose for the running, right? Let's say you missed the line by this much. You missed the line by this much, but everybody else gets the line or they go past it, right? They're that much better than you are. They're getting not that much better than you are, but they're getting that much better than you, right?
Sure.
They're
Yeah.
improving more than you are. If you're going half speed in these cone drills, right? But this guy's going full speed, but you think you're better than this guy. You're starting over this guy, but he consistently works at that kind of rate, right? And
Mm,
you consistently just go 50%. There's going to be a time where he's going to be better than you. You know what I mean?
sure.
And
Yeah.
that has to be the thought the whole time, right?
Right. Yep. No matter how good you think you are or hard you think you are, there's always someone out there that's harder and better. So
Mm-hmm.
always try kind of, I don't know, striving to kind of just be better than yourself, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah,
'Cause you're
yeah.
never gonna know until you're met with them.
Yeah, you're never gonna know until the time comes, and then it'll be exposed, right? And um, just to that point, so like you're just kind of talking about you want to be more consistent. Um, Running was one of those things that kind of came into your life. What really just made you say, like, you kind of mentioned it a little bit, but like, hey, I'm gonna just do this 50K, right? Like I'm just gonna get into it. I'm gonna send it. Like, what influenced you? Are there people you've looked up to that have done this kind of stuff? What have you learned also throughout this process, like being a
uh,
part of these things?
I think honestly that first 50K that I did two 50Ks in like a week apart. So one was
Yeah.
August 2nd, one was the weekend after. But I have a couple college buddies that we all had the same degree, so we're all into fitness, and we always talked about wanting to do Ironmans or triathlons. And was actually before Drew was born, I was training for a triathlon. I was doing a Olympic distance triathlon in Bozeman,
Mm-hmm.
what I was training for. But Brew was born 6 weeks early, so
Mm.
he was born the day before that triathlon was supposed to happen.
Uh
So obviously, wouldn't have been a good idea to peace out and go to Bozeman and do a triathlon
huh.
after my kid was born. So
Yeah.
skipped out on, and then I kind of just fell off of it, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like I said, there was just kind of some moment where I was like, I need to get back into that, into training for something, because I was that back then. At that point, I was like going hard. I was at the time though, I was spending 2-3 hours a day in the gym doing long bikes, long runs, long swims, all the stuff like that. I was in
That's right. Yes.
the best shape of my life, probably right there. Um, and then recently, before this first 50K, my one of my buddies that I was talking about signs up for this 50K in, well, him and another one of my buddies. They did a half Ironman in where'd they do it? can't remember where they did it, but they did a half Ironman, and I just remember being like, damn, I was jealous. I was like, I want to do that. And then my buddy signed up for a 50K ultra, and he's like, you should do it. And I was like, all right, fuck it, I'll sign up for it. Tried to sign up for it. It was full. Got put on a waiting list, and there was like 20 people ahead of me on the waiting list.
Hmm.
Like, damn it, there's no way I'm gonna get in on this one. So I signed up for that first one. Um, and to the point of like other people that I kind of look up to, I guess I want to preface before we talk about me. I don't think anything that I've done so far is that crazy. Like you got people running 250-mile ultra races, and like this Matthew Johnson, he's a kid that I follow. He's out of Texas. He ran from west to east Texas. He ran west border of Texas to east border of Texas. He ran across Texas in 17 days. And then here in like a month in October, he's running from the north border to the south border of Texas, which is 1,000 miles. Like, you got people doing that. There's this other guy I follow, Andrew Glaze. He's actually a firefighter, and he's on like 300-week streak of 100-mile weeks. He's been running 100 miles a week or more for like almost 300 weeks. He just did 300-mile races in 5 weeks. So like, what I'm doing, 32 miles isn't shit really, but to the non-runner, to the people that I know, like, obviously it's like a little bit crazy, I guess. It's cool to those people. But there's people doing some wild stuff. So anyways, following those type of people, I'm like, if those people can do something like that, then why can't I?
Uh-huh.
That's kind of where I was at with when that first one. Before I did that first one, got an email from the one that my buddy was doing that I had already signed up for, that I was selected off the waiting list to go do it.
Uh-huh.
So that was the week after, and I was like, well, shit, it's either do both of them in a week apart or skip out on one of them. And obviously, I wasn't gonna back down from doing two of them, so two of them.
Dude, just send it. Just send it. But hey, don't undercut yourself now. There are dudes out there, right? There are dudes out there who are doing the, 1,000-mile runs. You got the David Goggins, dudes just running for days on end, and yeah, for sure. But at the same time, like, to fathom somebody going through something like that, yeah, like, to the non-runner, it's insane to me, just because like, for me, the reason why I find it so interesting and so awesome is because you got to stay dedicated and you got to stay locked in for more than just a race. It's the preparation that leads up to it, because you don't want to be the guy in the race who got in 15 miles and had to, run one, walk one for the end of it. And there's probably dudes who do that, and that's fine. Like, they're testing their boundaries and they're doing their hard. But at the same time, like, your mindset's probably like, why would I do something if I'm not in the best possible shape ever? And like, in preparation for that, it's like, okay, I got to do an 8-mile day today. I got to do a 20-mile day on this day. But at the same time, I can't be out every night drinking. I can't be, eating McDonald's every day. I got to be dialed in on my, non-running fitness, weights or swimming or, whatever it is, but also diet and stretching and things like that.
Yeah. And all that stuff plays a big part in it. And I think that's like a big like roadblock for a lot of people trying to get into fitness. Like, that's the classic thing, someone wants to lose weight, they go to the gym for a week, don't see results, so they just quit.
Yep.
Once you start to see results is when you get addicted to it.
Mm-hmm.
It takes a month to see results sometimes. Like, you don't just lift weights or run for a week and you're all of a sudden, some super fit person.
Right. You don't get the six pack.
Yeah, it takes a lot of time and discipline and yeah, like you said, can't be out drinking but I mean, see my stories sometimes. I'm saying hybrid
Hey,
athlete where I'm drinking beers still, but hey, tomorrow I'm gonna go run. I might puke, but
hey, hey. I mean, it's good to have
I
fun
like
sometimes, right?
yeah, I like having fun with my friends. I'm not gonna give that up. You don't have to. That's another thing too. You don't have to change up your whole life and give up your entire life to do something like that.
Yep,
You do got to switch a little bit of things up,
for sure, for sure.
but yeah.
Yeah, dude, it's cool, man. And like, what is it like getting in there? Like starting the race, do you get nervous? Do you feel calm and confident? What's your process for like preparing for something like that?
Um, yeah, the first one I was pretty nervous. I had no idea what to expect at all. Um, for like I said, I signed up for that race 5 weeks before it, and my entire life before that, the most I've ever ran was maybe like 8 miles, probably. I'd never even done a half marathon.
Uh huh.
Um, so I was like, shit, I have no idea what to expect. I don't know if I'm good at running. I don't know if I enjoy running, but I'm gonna send it. And so first week sucked. Like I was sore. I was like, how are guys running 20 miles every single day? Like I
Mm-hmm.
ran 4 miles last night and I'm woke up sore as shit and I got to do 5 today. Like
Mm-hmm.
seemed crazy. After that first week, second week, really started getting into the groove. And then, yeah, then had like a few long runs. I did a long run in the high woods was my first long trail run. It was a 15 mile trail run in training. And I felt like I was like, there's no way I could have done a 16th mile. Like
Yeah.
there's no way I'm doing that loop again. Cause that's what I have to do the 50K. Right.
Yeah.
Um, so I was like, shit, this is going to be harder than I thought. I think like I might get humbled and, and I went home and was like, stomach was cramped up the entire night. I was laying in bed just like, God, this sucks. And I only did 15, and I only did 15 miles, and it was like a 14-minute pace or something, like slower than what my goal was gonna be. So that sucked. I was like, shit, I don't like. I got 3 more weeks of this, and I got to do it. So I don't know. We'll see. And it was figuring stuff out kind of on the fly. Like the biggest part to figure out was fueling, like while running,
Yep.
um, which screws up a lot of people's guts. Like if you don't practice eating food while you're exercising or while you're running, and it could really affect your stomach. A lot of people get like bad stomach cramps doing that stuff
Mm-hmm.
because your body has to try to digest while you're exercising. And
Yeah.
like they always say, after you eat a meal, 30 minutes to an hour before you go do any exercise. Like
Exactly.
that's
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
cardio
Yeah. Yeah.
you're supposed to do. But in ultra running, you gotta freaking be able to eat because you're using so much energy and using all your carbs and using your glycogen. You got to be able to continuously eat while you're exercising. So that was a big thing to learn. Um, and then going into that first race, yeah, I was no idea what to expect. I knew I didn't want to start like fast. That's what everybody said. Don't start out hot because you're fresh and hit mile 10 and be fast and be pissing down your leg because you got 22 more miles to do. So, but I was feeling really good. Like made it to mile 12, and that's the cool thing about those ultras. There's aid stations. Like that one
Okay.
had 6 aid stations, so they were spread out every 6 miles. Um, they have all sorts of, like they got chips, pretzels, watermelon, bananas, pickles, like Mountain Dew and Coke, all sorts of stuff that you can eat. That's super nice. That was cool. Um, and then I actually ran into this guy out there, and we were just chatting as we were running, and he had done like 100-mile pace. He's done some 50-mile races, and he was going at a pace that maybe I thought was a pace that I could keep up at. And so we were kind of chatting, I was like, "What's your goal?" And he was like, "I want to do under 7 hours." Was his goal. So I'm like, "Dude, if that's your goal, this is my first time ever doing this. I have no idea how to pace myself. Like, cool, I'm just gonna run with you the rest of the time." And so let's do it, and we freaking ran from mile 13 till the end.
Holy smokes.
Like 4 hours together. And I got 6:52 or 6:51 or something like that. So I got under 7 hours. That was the goal that I wanted to hit. And it was super cool just meeting that guy, being able to push each other through like the time of where it starts to suck. Because there's a time where it really starts to suck and you go to a dark place, But I think if I was by myself, I maybe wouldn't have pushed as hard because one, I wouldn't have known how far I had left, wouldn't have known like what was coming in the course. But with this guy, I was just like, dude, I'm just gonna run with you, and whatever you're doing, I'm gonna do it. So
yeah,
that was cool for it being my first one and not knowing what to expect.
Yeah, that's interesting. Like, do people actually rip the Mountain Dew and the Coke and stuff? Is that beneficial for you out there, like sugar and stuff?
Yeah, I ripped it. Every aid station, I took a shot of Coke and a shot of pickle juice.
Yep, I can see the pickle juice for sure.
Yeah, for the sodium and cramp and stuff. But yeah, dude, I had never known anything about the Coke, but when I was there, everyone's like, dude, it's a game changer. Take a shot or two of Coke, and it's like, yeah, just the quick sugar hit, kind of gets you going.
Because I guess you're depleting everything, right? Like
you
said, the
you're using all
carbs,
of
like
it.
everything is being used, and at some point, the human body can only go so far without needing something, right?
Right.
And I never thought of it because I've known that like these marathons and ultras and these long distance races, I've always known that you eat, like I've seen people have pouches and they have like little sugar packs or like honey packs and whatever, but I never really thought of like you have to train for that beforehand because it's different for the body. Like if I go eat and I try and go and run, I feel like I'm gonna throw up, right? Like I feel like even if it's like a little amount, like I remember before games I would always eat hour and a half, 2 hours before, and like during a game I'd start to get hungry, but that's how I wanted it, right? Yeah, that's very interesting. I never really thought of it from that, like necessarily that perspective of like you have to train for that kind of aspect of the race.
Yeah, and I was very glad that I trained like that, but I never did train with like the eating the junk, basically. Like, dude, you eat junk while you're out there. The ultra runners survive on freaking potato chips and anything salty and anything sugary, basically. Candy, like we're eating freaking gummy worms and everything that's not healthy for you is what you're eating out there.
Yeah.
Because you're just getting a quick, like I'm trying to eat 60 to 100 grams of carbs every hour.
Yeah.
Is what I learned, I guess. So after that, like when I did that 15-mile race and I was practicing fueling as I was going, it screwed me up. And I was like, I don't know how I'm going to be able to do this. And then as I practiced it, my body got used to digesting while exercising. And I'm very glad that I trained like that.
Yeah, dude. That's crazy. And so how'd the body feel like afterwards, knowing that you had to turn around and do it the next week?
I was super sore right after. I think I sat down on the chairs and had a beer, actually.
Yep.
I was like, oof, I'm going to give myself like 3 days to recover and see how I feel. If I'm injured or anything like that, I'm not going to push it. But the next day, I honestly felt good. Like we went up to Holter Lake and I went surfing and we hung out at the lake for the next day. Like I was sore, but
Right.
Nothing was injured. My ankles were fine. My knees were fine. No like joints were messed up. It was just muscle soreness was it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I'm like, I can get, you can push through muscle soreness.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, and then that week in between the next one, I think that next day, like I said, got a little bit of exercise doing some surfing. Then maybe the next day I took off completely. And then after that, I was right back into just doing some kind of shakeout runs, like 3-4 mile easy runs, just to kind of
Keep
keep my
everything
body
where it needs
moving.
to be. Yeah.
Yep. And then, yeah, honestly felt great going into that second one.
Yeah, that's sick. So like how do they lay those things out? Do they find a trail in the mountains and it's like, hey, you start here, you end here? Or is it like a trail, you run through a town and then you're out on another trail? Like how do they structure that?
They're all, at least the two that I did, were different in themselves, but they've been doing them for, obviously. I think the first one that I did was probably like their 10th time doing it or something. Like they've been doing that one for a while. So they have a course up in the mountains it's all on, like, there's some technical trail, there's some like ATV road, there's
Mm-hmm.
normal like dirt road stuff. It's just kind of however they can make 32 miles in a big loop, I think is
Kind of how yeah, yeah, yeah.
wherever they can find out to make that trail, they do it. Um, and then they have flags, and they mark where you need to go. So everything was pretty marked out well, never got lost or anything like that. But
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
there's a lot of time they're just alone. And you're like, I hope I'm taking the right turn here.
Right, exactly. That's exactly where I'd be like, dude, am I in the right spot? I don't see anybody anywhere, right? Um, but to like prepare for that kind of stuff too, I always see you out with Kanan and see you running with some buddies as well. Like I remember there was a time where you guys, like you said, were swimming and doing all that kind of stuff. Like, do you feel like if you didn't have like the influence of like a good gym partner per se or a workout buddy, um, you'd be as dedicated? Would it be as easy in some senses if you didn't have some of those guys around you to, kind of help push you or even be company during, preparation?
Yeah, I think having a training partner is huge, in sticking with it, because you can both, if one of you isn't, hi Sid.
I said, are you almost done?
Yeah, it's like, yeah, I think having a training partner is huge. Just in, like, if one of you isn't feeling it that day, you got a 50% chance that the other one is feeling it that day. So you're like, no, we're doing it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Just you. If you're not feeling it that day, there's a 90% chance that you might not go do it.
Yep.
But I think, though, for myself, I was, um, like, dedicated enough and like wanted it enough that it would have been I would have been totally fine. Honestly, I did plenty of runs by myself without Kanan when he's just like, I'm not gonna go do it.
I'm gonna chill. Go write some
Yeah,
comedy.
which is totally fine. I'm proud of that kid for doing it.
Hell yeah.
Honestly, I was nervous for him because he didn't do maybe a quarter of the training that I did for that, and
Yeah.
he still showed up and did it. Finished it. So
He's a gamer, dude. That's a gamer.
yeah,
That's awesome. Yeah, 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 dude. You guys look like you're pretty tight knit and like doing the roofing and doing all that kind of stuff, man. I'm happy for y'all. Um, because yeah,
yeah,
I think especially in a place like Great Falls and stuff, like it's always good to have your nice little tight knit group of people that you can always depend on and hang out with, train with, barbecue, drink some beers with, do whatever. So, um,
yeah,
stuff's pretty dang cool, man. It's all
yeah.
really dang cool. And so, what is your plan now? Do you have anything in the future for yourself?
Yeah. Do want to do some more runs. I don't know exactly what I'm going to do yet. I'm kind of on the back burner right now. I'm focused on hunting season. I'm out with the bow, chasing elk around the mountains right now. So focusing on that for the next couple months, and then I'll be back to the drawing board and figure out what's next. I really want to do a 100-mile race, so I think maybe next summer, signing up for a 100-mile race next summer. And yeah, I got a list of shit that I want to do, and Kayla and Brew are always supporting me in my crazy dreams. I've got these wild ideas all the time. So, yeah, one big one that I really want to do. There's a firefighter in Missoula that he does like Ironmans, and he's a crazy athlete. But he holds the world record for fastest mile in firefighter turnout gear.
Really?
And I want to come for that.
What is it?
It's like 608.
All that. How heavy is that gear?
Probably about right around 50 pounds. You're got a SCBA, masked up, everything. It's just like that stair climb, though. Stair climb's all full gear. But that'll take some serious training, I think. But I think it's doable. I think a sub 6 is doable. So
that's sick, though. Like that's dope that you have like that frame of mind. Like, yeah, I'm going for it. You know what I mean? I want that. You know what I mean? Like that's the stuff that keeps you going when you're like, I'm coming for it. You know what I mean? Like, that's sick. And so that stair climb. Go ahead.
I just want to keep signing up for stuff because I don't want to get out of the groove.
Yeah.
I'm in good shape right now. I just did 250Ks. I don't want to like take it easy for a while. I want to sign up for something and keep training and stay fit. So I think if I sign up for a 100-mile race, there's the Crazy Mountain 100 in July, I think, which is in the Crazy Mountains in Montana.
Yep.
And sign up for that now. Well, I think registration opens in like October or something. But if I sign up for that, I'll have that to train for. But then I can do a 50K in the middle of that, for basically just a training run.
Right. Exactly.
I think that's what a lot of those people do that do those 100-mile, 200-mile races. They pick up a 50K race, a 50-mile race here and there just to continue doing that kind of stuff, sticking on there long.
Yeah.
So yeah,
that's sick. And well, what I was gonna say is before we get you out of here, is what is that stair climb? What's the purpose of it? To get all you firefighters there, and how hard is that? Because it seems like some dudes be dying on their way up. Like it's crazy. It's cool to watch. I was like, damn, it's made me think like, damn, I kind of want to throw some gear on and just see what it's like.
Right out. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's been going on for a long time. It's basically a big charity event for Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. And they raise like over $2 million a year just in this event. For all the money goes to leukemia, lymphoma, cancer research, and all that stuff. So it's a great cause, first of all. But then the competitive side of it is what I love doing. Having something to train for, getting out there. It's brutal. I honestly think still it's harder than either of those 50Ks that I did, but they're hard in different aspects.
They're different.
That's a 13-minute all-out workout. 50Ks that I did is a 6-hour, kind of just a long grind.
Yep.
But that stair climb, there's a point. I don't even know how to explain it. Like you start seeing tunnel vision like that. You like you don't even know what floor you're on at some point. Like you get to the 50th. There's 69 flights.
Okay.
69 floors.
Holy shit.
And it's really just going as hard as you can for that until you're done. Like, yeah, I've come out of there like wobbling and trying to find the finish line. Guys are puking in the stairwell. People are passing out. Like, it's brutal.
Dude. I think somebody who did it like had a video of a guy just out. And I was like,
Yep.
damn, like well, you gotta think, you got everything on, right? And you're just busting it up these stairs. It's probably hot as hell. Like,
Yep.
and it's for a great cause, but it's like these guys are pushing it, dude.
Yeah.
Pushing it.
It's fun. It's the whole event is freaking awesome. There's over 2,000 firefighters from all over the world that come and do this thing, and it's in the Columbia Center in Seattle, and I think it's like the tallest building in the West or Northwest or something like
Okay.
that. Just the whole event, they put on a sweet event, and a bunch of other firefighters around. They send one person up every like seconds or something like that. And nice thing is I've been because I've been doing it for 6 years or something like that. And the last 5 years I've been in the 1st Battalion, which is they take the top 50 from the previous year and put all those faster people into the first heat. So it's a lot better. It's not as hot in there. You don't have to worry about passing people or being passed that much. Yeah, but honestly, I don't know. I don't think I'm going to be able to do it this year.
Why is that?
I'm going to have to step out on it this year. We got something coming March 12th.
Oh, let's go.
Yep.
Congratulations.
Yeah, we got another baby on the way. So
that's awesome.
That's March 12th, and usually that stair climb is like weekend, March 9th through the 12th, somewhere in there.
Dang.
So I better not even sign up for it because
can't risk that. Can't
be gone.
Yeah, dude. But yeah, congratulations with that, and I'm gonna get you out of here. It's football Sunday.
Yes, sir.
Before you go, what's one piece of advice you'd give somebody who's looking just to start a fitness journey or start attacking some goals?
A little bit of what I touched on back then, about just find something that's relative to you hard and sign up for it. Get a buddy or two and go in on it together, sign up for it, put it on the calendar, and you'll be surprised how motivated you'll feel, more so than just exercising or just like, you know what, I'm going to go on a run today. Like no one really decides. You sign up for something, go and do it. Also, I've heard this quote, something like, don't let other people's limitations that they have on themselves, don't let them put those limitations on you.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. If someone's telling you that you can't do something, that's their own limitations that they have for themselves. Have those limitations for yourself.
I like that.
So
I like that a lot. All right, everybody. Skywalk with Wetz podcast. Chase Perry is a special guest. Thank you, guys. Show some love to the video if you get this far. We appreciate y'all. Happy Sunday. Go Raiders.
Thanks, Jake.